And here we go. Oh my goodness. Reilled pushed a deer from the middle of the map.
If they know they're being strict. I respect that.
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a sec. What did you say?
Say again, sorry?
You cut out for it. Well, it's almost as if they know they're what?
It's almost as if they know they're on camera.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh!
Versus Lithuanians.
Wait, what is going on with the allies tab at the right-hand side?
So that means that they've not selected lock teams.
Okay. That's funny. The first Diplo win.
My game has cut out.
Okay.
And told me that end of game data.
Okay, I'm still going. Hopefully you can catch back up.
I stopped. Mine stopped at 12 minutes 20. So I'll see if I can reload it.
Okay. I'll carry on, I guess.
Yeah, you keep going.
So it looks like Reilled. Wow. Okay, Wimpyfish with some really nice quick walls. Jeez, that was Viper-esque quick walls on that hill actually. Against 2 scouts, the pressure. But okay, so we missed a fairly aggressive opening. I noticed Reilled pushed a deer from the middle of the map all the way to his home base. That was one thing that happened. Reilled also killed Wimpyfish's Eagle Scout with 2 scouts of his own. And Wimpyfish now doing some nice quick walling and has spears in defense against Reilled's scout opening as Lithuanians. But it has calmed down a bit now after all of that aggro. And Wimpyfish dropping a market is looking to go up to the castle age. It's only 15 minutes 55 in game. Already thinking about that, so good job from him as the Mayans. Reilled thinking about castle age 2, but a bit further away. He has not got the gold in the bank necessary to go up. Hopefully you are loading back in.
Yes, I'm past the troublesome point. I've just seen the quick wall at 8 times speed, which makes it
even more
impressive, to be honest.
Yeah. How does he have those reactions?
In fact, there's been a few nice little quick walls from Wimpy. That's really nice work.
Yeah,
he's at least 2 or 3 vills from what would probably be a certain death otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And it's meant that he, after all of that, somehow the eco KD is 0-0. I actually can't really believe that, considering how many weak ones he's got in the base.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff to keep those all alive. And the mine economy is now even stronger than it could have been. So Reilled's got to watch out here, but Reilled does have the map control. 18 minutes, so like it should be all caught up, I guess.
Yeah, and he's getting skirms going already as well, which, especially with Lithuanians, they're moving that bit faster. You can really punish players who find themselves just out of position.
Yes. So Knight Skirm should be a pretty comfortable comp for Reilled here. Nice and easy, you know what you're doing, and there's nothing that Wimpyfish can do that would really make that a problem, I don't think.
Yeah.
And Wimpyfish now is running a little bit low on wood on some of his wood lines, and has spotted that he's overchopped on that southeastern side of his base.
But he's doing a really nice job of just getting it walled up straight away, not getting caught. One bill has finally
cast a curse there.
That's so unfortunate.
Come on, quick walls again. Let's go.
He's trying.
He tried.
So nice little bonus for Reilled there, but yeah, it's going into Castle Age with a relatively even game, to be honest.
Wimpyfish sending 6 vills out. He obviously knows about the oases on this map, And I think he's going to just drop a castle at town centre on that straight away. Reilled 2 gets up to the castle age. Bloodline's coming in. Ooh, another. This is the same town centre that Reilled placed, that Bastard I placed last game. I think just place it on the Oasis. Why not? You have the gold underneath as well. Maybe didn't quite scout that far.
Even though obviously the wood around the Oasis is a little bit impacted by the water, you know, it's worth it to guarantee the gold as well. And it's only an extra 5 tiles, 6 tiles to walk.
Yeah. But he has scouted that now. And here's the thing with Wimpyfish. He puts his opponents on a bit of a clock. Because if they don't do damage against him, they find themselves hugely down in economy. Because he will boom so quickly and so well against you. You have to use your army advantage. And Reilled now has the chance with these crossbows popping out. There's a lot of skirms waiting with open arms to meet them. But he has to make the most of this. And actually the crossbows with Bodkin are doing quite well against the skirms. Unelite skirms.
Yeah, and it's a really nice move actually from Wimpyfish to just whittle those numbers down.
Yeah.
Because if you get a ball of sort of like 10, 12, 15 elite skirms behind your knights, it makes it so much harder to take engagements, especially with the Lithuanian speed bonus. Whereas now, oh god, he's murdering those poor deer. Someone call the RSPCA.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is horrible.
And well, he could have taken them for himself, maybe, but I guess with oh wow, whoa, look at that. Reilled sent 5 villagers to the Oasis and actually changed his mind and rushed to tower up on his gold. That is huge. Ooh. Both of his golds are in the same spot. So he felt he had to do that. But that is such a huge, like, against someone with 3 TCs as well? That's insane.
He's now trying to rush up a market.
To buy the stone back.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So it feels like a little bit of an overreaction there.
I think
if you get the TC up on the side and secure your gold there, you don't have to worry about the forward gold.
Yeah, or Superhero just said in the chat, just build a TC on your gold at the front. I mean, maybe that also is an option. You could just do that.
And so we've now got a situation where Wimpy has been earlier to 3 TCs and has a really big military lead. And he's just sniping away at those exposed wood lines.
Sniping the bills! Oh, Reilled, come on, you
really
gotta...
nice.
Yeah. He's gotta change something in this game quite quickly because it's spiraling out of his hands very rapidly here. And, well, here we go. So the knights are in on Superhero's base. Don't quite see how they got in, but they are in. And they are finding some Vil kills, but still only 1 so far, actually. There's the second one there.
Especially as those knights don't have +2 armor, and Wimpyfish has just got ballistics in. Those knights won't be able to spend any time near the TCs, is the big challenge.
And that's
so they are
most of his base, is TCs.
Be doomed, unfortunately.
Okay, well Reilled does have, in the bank, 175 stone, but now he hasn't gone out the wood, so he's had to build a lumber camp on the Oasis. And all this time that he's waiting, Superhero's building vills from 3 town centres. And he's not going to slow down on that. And in fact, he might find that Oasis with these band of crossbowmen going out to the right-hand side of the map. Attacking your house right now, but be something to investigate going forward. But double the Vil count already. This is the thing. He's so efficient at this booming that you cannot let him have an inch here, or it'll take a mile.
Yeah, and he's doing a nice job as well of getting his farming eco up.
Yes,
and
I like that.
You know, given that he's only creating crossbow, it means that, you know, very quickly he'll have the food to go up to Wimp.
Yep.
And it's
Okay. Oh, when he finds those vills.
he's found them. Yeah, it's almost the style that Wimpy Fish is playing here is almost the kind of thing you'd expect from sort of top level player in terms of the approach. That fairly sort of passive play at the start. Just get enough military out on the map to secure yourself, get the eco rolling, and then build from there.
Yeah.
And he's just snowballed that advantage so well.
Yeah. Oh, and Reilled just about gets away with that town centre, I think. Wimpy Fish didn't quite spot it, just by one tile. It looks like that will go up. But
we're seeing now Wimpy Fish is house walling across a lot of the map. He's also got up to 5 ranges and is producing a lot of crossbow. So he is going to have a big ball of military to upgrade when he picks up to Wimp.
Yeah, and those houses, they block the path of enemy units and provide you with pop space, which is a broken combination when you're going 5 range crossbows. Reilled is running out of time. I think he might already have run out of time. This is very tough for him now. The one thing is, Superior Wimpfish isn't imp yet. That is the one thing that's going well for Reilled, I think, right now. And which means his knights have the opportunity to cause some frustrations.
Yeah,
but I think he has to use it now.
I think the one thing that Wimpy could have done differently here is actually you don't need to queue up another 20 crossbows when you've got 40 already.
Yeah.
So just bank those resources. You'll probably get some spare gold out of that. So buy a bit of food as well, and just get the imp, because Bracer, Arb, Chemistry will just set you up to demolish any Castle Age army.
Yeah, exactly. And I does he? He hasn't got a market yet. Oh, he does have a market at the front. Yeah, so definitely use the market to get yourself there as well. But like you say, with the farming eco he invested in, it won't be too long. Maybe wheelbarrow would have been nice to see earlier. Though his economy is not quite as efficient as it could have been, but yeah, I think if he just sells his wood, buys a tiny bit of food and picks up to him, be in good stead. Reilled desperately flooding cavalry forward, and well, I say desperately, he's sending his cav forward to a really good spot on the map. Town centre on Wimpy Fish's southwestern oasis is under attack now.
Yep, finding some value.
And he didn't notice it, which means that there's nothing to garrison there, so the knights can just take it out, actually. But Wimpy Fish is marching his troops forward relentlessly. He doesn't care. He's got 72 crossbows. That's giving him some confidence in this game, I feel. And I think rightly so, because he can kind of just go for the jugular here.
Yeah, I mean, he even if he takes a couple of hits from mangonels, he's got more.
Yeah.
And there's the imp click.
There's the imp click.
Probably could have clicked up a little bit earlier, but he's in a very strong position. He's got good map control with the crossbow. Despite that raid on the left, he's pretty safe at home. He's got military at home as well to help him deal with any knights there. And that bottom right side of the map is just his.
Yeah, and I think it's so clever that wall. If you can get it up. So Boo tried this against Stake in Feudal Age, going for a palisade out all along one side there, woodline to woodline in the desert, and it didn't work because it was Feudal Age and the scouts just came and killed the Vill. But when you have the map control to get that castle up, the wall up rather, it's just huge. It's really shut down Reilled's options with the mobile unit, good at raiding. There's nowhere to raid, or the one place there was to raid, he raided. And now what? It's superheroes, Wimpyfish rather, it's 200 pop. Rail's 89. I mean, this is insane. And look at the res in the bank. Like, it's ridiculous what he's managed to achieve here with the time that he's bought himself. No stone, he says. Oh.
I think one of the things we're learning is the players would benefit from taking a look at the maps as he then buys stone for a
He just buys enough stone. That's got to be so demoralising for Reilled, because Wimpyfish just kind of swept him aside here with so many crossbows and didn't even know the map that well. Okay, here comes Arbalest, Bracer, and just in chemistry for the Holy Trinity. The crossbows on left hand side, soon to be Arbalest.
Oh, we might be about to see a massacre of some villagers.
Yes.
A big group of villagers going forward with no protection around them, and that will be a bit of a slaughter.
The thing is, though, it's just going to make more space for crossbows. Although, he has run out of gold, so he can't quite build as many as he was. The Arbalest upgrade is in now. Armor and chemistry coming in.
He's got enough arbs that he can just melt the watchtower.
Yeah. Reilled has a lot of knights, though. This is nothing to sniff at. 26 knights, and they're running for the TC here, and Reilled's clicked imp as well. The superhero, Wimpyfish, I keep saying superhero, Wimpyfish has got to be careful, because he is starting to lose quite a lot of the eco lead he built himself, all of a sudden. And that castle isn't protecting his economy, protecting the middle of the map. So, suddenly, Reilled's aiming for the Vill lead here. And Wimpyfish wasn't quite as safe as he thought he was on that southern side of the map because of the hole in the wall. But now Reilled has to escape with his numbers, and that could prove tough with so many Arbalest in hot pursuit.
So yeah, it's a really, really good move to go and raid like that. You've got to put some pressure back on in these situations. And he has got the knights out. There is, in fact, a hole between the house and the wood line there. So he's just given himself a little bit of a sniff. It's still 100 military, which is going to be really difficult to clean up. But, you know, in these situations, you've got to try something, and he's given himself just a bit of an opportunity.
He has. He's definitely in with a whisker of a chance now, because he needed something, and that was it, I feel. Wimpyfish, he kind of feels like he's toying with his prey a bit here. I think he's just got to try and bust a way in and do what Reilled just did. And he has the army to achieve that. But he can't wait around too long, because if Reilled gets Onager, for instance, it would be a bit annoying for Wimpyfish to push in.
It looks like that's what Reilled was going for. He's just been selling at the market, and yeah, there's the Onager pet.
Onager is in,
and he has got a few, but I'm not sure if the Seed Workshop is going to survive long enough. He's sacrificed. Okay, that's probably actually a worthwhile trade. Sacrifice the 2 mangonels to get the Feb. It's still going to be a bit dicey whether he actually has enough time.
It's not going out. There's no way. And maybe Wimpyfish kind of suspects that, actually. He's really focusing that down. And he has seen 2 mangonels, so he might suspect Onager is coming in.
Yeah, that kind of... Oh, it's going to be so close.
There's no way, right? 2 seconds, 1 second! Did he get it?
99.9%.
No! Oh, doubt Onager.
That's heartbreaking, and of course, by investing into that, it's delayed him getting to
Cavalier and plate larding.
Plus 4 armor. Although I don't think they'd be enough anyway. And yeah,
no,
it's looking very bleak for Reilled here.
Yeah, it simply hasn't got the army numbers. I don't care how good the Lithuanian knights are. They haven't even got the relics in. But when there's 115 army, 114 arbalests and a solitary treb, what can you do against that? Even if they had a launcher, to be fair, you need some absolutely the best shots of your life. Okay, and Wimpyfish finally now is starting to wheel his army round to the base of Reilled. Takes out the 3 mangonels. The Knights might be looking for a counter-attack here. They're going to go for the Trebs, I think. Oh no, okay, here they go. They are. They're making their minds up, and yeah, this is the thing, Reiled's in such a pickle, he doesn't quite know where to look. Taking out the Trebs seems like a sensible idea. He's going to go for that.
Okay,
one last hurrah. I think it might be.
He will get the Trebs and clean up those arbs there, but the problem is, how can he ever... I mean, there's 100 arbs walking into his base on the right-hand side. How can he ever hope to contest that army?
He can't really, can he? And, well, the TC was taken out by the arbs. He only has 1 TC left alive, and it's being attacked now by the 100 arbalests. The Vills have run out in a hole in the wall, but they'll be picked off as well as soon as the arbs finish clearing up this town centre. The Knights are going forward for that last hurrah, as Reilled said, but I just don't think so. Wimpyfish has done such a good job. Despite that raid, his economy is just ridiculous. I guess that's Mayans for you, but that was crazily dominant from Wimpyfish there.
Yeah.
It was... He didn't really give Reilled a chance in that one. After a fairly balanced standard opening. It just, as you said, it snowballed completely from the moment he started marching out with those crossbows. And he just took a really good fight against the skirms. Reilled maybe thought the skirms were a little bit stronger defense than they were, and it just non-stop snowballed from there with the what really won it, I guess, was the crossbows denying, quote unquote, forcing a tower on the gold, which stopped the town centre on the oasis, and then from there it's just, there's no way the ecos were ever going to match up against each other.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the thing that Reilled struggled with was he sort of got caught halfway. Yeah, he invested into some skirms, but didn't get the elite skirm upgrade.
Yeah.
And so they didn't really have the sticking power to contain the crossbows. He invested into a small number of knights, but didn't get enough upgrades for them alone to be able to do much. And then behind that, yeah, he wasn't getting eco rolling with TCs, for example, and so yeah, it meant that he was in that sort of no man's land where he's invested partly into one unit line, partly into another, and not really given it something to back it up.
Yeah. Just, yeah. Really, and that's a credit to Wimpyfish for pouncing on that.
Yeah, Wimpy's done a really, really good job of taking that early Castle Age lead and just running with it.
Yeah.
Not giving Reilled any avenue to get back into it, because he was active with those crossbows as well, is the really smart thing. He kept sniping stray villagers, putting pressure on, making Reilled react to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm worried about Wimpyfish. That would that's a worryingly strong. That's not a soothing game one to have for Reilled. So he's got to find a way to bounce back from that one.
Yes.
he messaged me, Onager denied on 99%. Maddening. And I said, don't worry, we all saw. I think that is just one of those things. Yeah, because it's almost, yes, obviously you'd much rather have Onager than not, but Wimpyfish probably should have just taken the game by the scruff of the neck a little bit earlier, and I don't think Reilled had much of a chance, but he did well. Reilled did well, to his credit. The raiding was really nice, and on both Oases actually he got some good value. So
yeah, I mean that dive, sort of as Wimpyfish hit Imperial Age, the dive into the eco on the bottom right hand side was really good.
It's what he needed, right? Otherwise, there was just
you've
no.
Got to make something happen at that point.
Yeah.
And game 2 is up and running.
Okay, so search Reilled. Oh, I've got to search size Reilled. Oh,
I searched for training.
Okay. Training.
It seems searching for the lobby name is the reliable thing, at least for me.
Yes, okay. Don't take it. Okey-doke. So, it's Fortified Clearing. So that is actually Wimpy's home map.
Yeah.
So Reilled opting to take the fight to Wimpy on his map, and I think Teuton's Aztecs, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of relics on this map, which benefits the Aztecs. 8 relics. But Teutons have the conversion distance.
Yeah. And the thing is, eagles are such a nice thing to have in these relic contests as well, especially with Aztecs, where they produce that bit faster. You've got the extra gold to start with. Your eco just runs pretty smoothly on it. And against Teutons as well, who can't get light cav, eagles are just that little bit more deadly as well.
Yeah. But don't eagles just die to knights?
And they can do, yeah. Aztecs do have a tricky time coping with the Teuton sort of later game. But obviously the risk with going knights in the relic contest is they're easier to convert, even with the Teuton resistance. If Aztecs, especially if they get a couple of upgrades, get that extra HP on their monks, it becomes really, really hard to contest relics against them.
Yeah. Well, that probably is the way Reilled is going to play. So we'll see how it goes. Now, if Wimpyfish boomed well on Neom, he should have no trouble booming well on this map. It's sort of much more designed for it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing is, with Teutons, you don't get light cav, right? So does that, like you were saying, obviously that they're Teuton knights, but they're still knights and they convert quickly. Is lacking a traditional counter to monks a problem?
It can be. I mean, if it partly depends on the player's preferences. If Wimpyfish is confident in his own monk micro, you can just use Teuton monks defensively. They get all the good upgrades, atonement, redemption. So that, and those monk v monk contests with Teutons should be very favourable. but that's it's a very tricky thing to play. So if you're not comfortable with it, you know, it won't help you basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing Wimpy's actually going up quickly to feudal age here.
Well, that is a surprise.
And going to stone early as well, so I wonder if it's just going to be a sort of fast feudal stone wall play. Oh no, we've got 5 vills going forward. It's going to be a trush.
It's going to be a trush, but there's no man at arms, so it's just going to be a straight up trush. And Reilled's not going to expect that, because obviously he has the reputation as a big boomer. Does Wimpyfish, so...
Oh, he's actually sending 3 of the vills back. Is this a change of heart?
To be confirmed. He's also losing a scout onto the TC.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what are these vills going to do then? Okay, there's the
tower coming up. There's only 2 vills, and there's 3 vills going back forward. Okay, so after all that,
I wonder if he's misclicked those 3 vills inside the base, and because of fortified clearing being open around the sides, I wonder if they've pathed that way. As Reilled just sends the village and batters down the tower.
Well worth it for him.
I quite like this approach. If you don't want to deal with the trush, especially being a bit later up to feudal, you know, it can be a really effective way of just stalling out the trush.
Both players have Loom, I believe, yes.
Yeah, they have. So it means that this trush is not going to find any particular damage. I think Reilled needs to be a little bit careful not to overcommit to chasing the villagers. Yeah, it is. Now that, especially now that he's in feudal, you know, just make sure that you still keep everything at home in good running order.
Yeah. Wimpyfish sees that as an invitation to drop a castle, drop a tower, as soon as he goes through the gate. Oh, you can follow him in. Oh, yeah, that might be. Thing is, even if you do follow him in, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, so the tower goes up, but the thing is, Reilled's now got the barracks up, eagles being produced as well. Nice walls on the tower, but actually one didn't go up. Like one tile. Oh, it does get tapped now. It's hard to see.
We saw in game 1 Reilled's. So Wimpy's got great quick walling skills, but he's just he's been let in here as Reilled, and so that tower's not going to go anywhere.
I think Wimpy is right. Oh, he really tried there to quick wall in. Actually, quite a few vills.
That would have been an incredibly good play if he'd pulled it off.
Oh, close stuff. Does delete the tower now. Wheelbarrow, smart play. I like that a lot. The vills are now much quicker. Almost outrunning the Eagle Warrior. Not quite though. 1.1.
Yeah, I think Reilled should just get these vills home and focus on his own economy at this point. He's staved off the rush.
Yeah.
And economically, he should be pretty comfortable from here. In comparison to Wimpy.
Yeah, and his game plan is unaffected. He wants to go to cast stage, pick up all the relics, and have a huge boon with the Aztecs. And Wimpy is the one whose game plan has been thrown off. I think Reilled did it. I am always in favour of committing vills to stop aggression. Like, if you don't want to deal with it, just don't deal with it. Like the worst thing you can do is undercommit, I think, rather than overcommit. So
yeah,
he did lose a lot of vill working time there, with the 9 vills or whatever chasing around, and a lot of battering, and he had to build barracks, and that you get the eagles out and stuff. But those eagles are still going to find good value for him. If he was super keen, he could garrison that really weak one in the town centre to heal it up. But there'll be good outposts for the relics. to keep watch. And here we go, Castle Age coming in now. So I think Reilled's in a much happier position than his opponent right now. And the stone walls at the sides, going to make sure that no sneaky sideways aggression comes in. And yeah, I think Reilled is looking in a great position in this at this time.
Yeah.
I guess it's... Sorry, you go.
Oh, no, yeah, he's got those eagles out. He can secure the relics with that quicker uptime if he wanted to. Yeah, especially like you've mentioned with the faster relic gold. Yeah, even just getting 4 or 5 of those relics is worth so much. It speeds your eco along a lot.
So what is the actual bonus?
It's plus 33% relic gold.
So if you take 3 relics, it's like having 4.
Yeah.
For another one. If you take 6, which there's 8 on this map, if you take 6 of them, it's like you got 8.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Think about it.
And especially given how gold dependent Aztec unit compositions are.
Yeah.
It's incredibly valuable to have that.
Yeah. I think, wow, while we were 2 and a 3rd stable queued up as well. Fish has got something on his mind here. And I guess it's, yeah, I was going to say, I guess it's not knights, I guess it is scouts, and that's what we're going to see. So the scouts will be against eagle warriors. The Reilled upgrade them, and they don't get light cav, so it's going to be tough for him to take that fight. Monastery does complete, and Monk is on the way now for Reilled. In no rush to get his second town centre up, and I think that's absolutely fine. I'd much rather spend the wood on the monastery, and a second monastery forward as well.
He'd need to get more stone in for another TC as well.
Good point, Capy. He has a market that he does.
Wimpy's not actually built the 3rd stable. I'm not sure if that's just a misclicked shift queue or something.
I think it's for the best, because I don't think he can afford the 3rd. Production-wise.
No, probably not. And he's going to see the forward monastery and the eagle warriors now. So nice little quick walls from Reilled. That's good work.
Ooh, that one find his first snipe.
That's good.
Yeah.
And this is more or less the best option open to Wimpy in this situation. Use the extra mobility that those scouts have to just pick off anything that's stray. And Reilled's really going for the aggression here. He's adding a siege workshop as well.
Yeah, I think this is a fine play. I just don't know if it's necessary, really. One thing that is interesting is Wimpyfish at one point had 715 stone. I guess he sold 100 at some point. But he could buy that back and drop a castle. He does now know about the siege workshop as well as the monastery. A castle next to his mill at the front would shut down a lot of the pressure that Reilled is attempting to put on.
It would.
The one thing is, though, it does kind of cede the map control to the Aztec player. And Reilled would be very comfortable, I feel, in picking up the relics and moving up. So it would sort of solidify the game in that boomy state. That maybe Reilled is absolutely happy to enter. But it's worth thinking about for Wimpyfish here, because the Mangonels and Eagle Warriors eventually will bust their way through this gate here. And the monks behind.
And Wimpy again is doing a really great job at sniping monks with his scout.
Oh yeah.
He's just snagged another couple.
Well,
and I
think that, yeah.
I think Reilled could do with investing into some upgrades for those monks.
Look at the blocking! I like that a lot. It's an ambitious play, though. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. So these are scouts, and they're Teuton scouts. So the conversion time on them is going to be very, very long indeed.
He's massing so many scouts at the back of his bases, Wimpy. So whether Reilled has realised what might be going on, I don't know. I don't think you'd predict a play like this.
No.
He might think that Wimpy is just booming with maybe one stable or something.
I would really love to see the infantry armor and attack for Reilled. And Fish has got bloodlines coming in and scale barding armor, so these scout cabs are going to pack a punch here. And he's doing a nice job of just walling behind this stone gate. I think there is a tile spare, so
Yep.
Eagles are going to jump in.
So I think we're going to have a bit of a crunch fight here. 24 scout cavalry against 17 eagles.
Okay.
Not many upgrades on the eagles, a couple of weak ones in there as well. This is going to be very tricky, and I think Reilled might have just overcommitted. That's a lot of scouts.
That is a huge amount of scouts. The eagles are going to go down. The mangonel's obviously going to fall as well. There's way too many scouts in play here. And Reilled just did tech into Redemption. But there's no way he can use that now on all the barracks and houses because the monks are going to need to run away. They are in harm's way now. So, interesting stuff here. The army numbers suddenly drastically in favour of Wimpyfish, and they're all scouts. Although, having said that, now he switches tack and he invests into knights. So, can Reilled stave off this aggression? He's teching into pikemen and chainmail armour. I like that from him. Because he recognises the threat. But this is a kind of crazy flip of the script here. Suddenly, Reilled's in quite some trouble, I think. And it's just scout cavalry.
Yeah, so he's investing into pikes now, which will clean up scouts very efficiently if he gets to a decent number, but it's a costly investment to have to make. And we're now seeing Wimpyfish wants to come and drop a castle right on top.
Okay, Wimpyfish, just steady on there. I mean, that might go up, I guess, but you've got to be careful with the monks around and the pikemen. But then again, how many villas is that? My goodness me. That is 23 villages. And I think that is going to go up. The pikemen, yeah, there's just too few pikemen really to stop the horde of cavalry. And they spot the bills coming forward, but they're powerless to stop it.
And I would be really interested, to find out, if we could enter the minds of each player at the moment. Do they think the other player is, booming behind this military? Do they realise they're each one TC? I realise Reilled has just added a second TC. It can be very tricky to read the game in these situations, and I think
if I'm Wimpy, I think I'm doing this because I'm worried my opponent's got a huge eco lead or is building a huge eco lead, because it has been quite some time that I mean, it's 31 minutes into the game and not a ton of stuff has happened food-wise for Reilled. So, I don't know, I feel like when... Oh no, this is Reilled. It's a bit of a no-no situation. I think Wimpy will be very happy to know that Reilled's only just added a second TC, put it that way. And he actually didn't manage to get that many relics in. He's got one relic in that monastery. Because Wimpy did such a good job of all of the monk sniping with the scouts. Yeah, he did delete the gate. Murder Hull's castle straight away. True. Good point. What I don't quite get is it seemed kind of balanced, and Wimpy was massing a lot of stuff at the back of his base, and now suddenly is just completely grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, and Reilled's really scrambling to think of a response here.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what Wimpy's done really well is, I mean, it's a great demonstration of what I was saying about Basai Dai in that Neon game. You know, when
Yeah.
you're under that bit of pressure, when when there's pressure knocking on your front door, basically,
Yeah.
showing as much patience as you can is
Yes.
really important. By being able to wait until Reilled committed that little bit far into his base, Wimpy's then been able to take a really great fight and turn it on its head a bit.
Yep. That's absolutely right. And yeah, maybe Reilled got a bit impatient as well. Went forward with the Eagles, and it was inquisitive from him as well, just to see, what's going on, where have you got any army? Yeah, and then suddenly you're flooded with sort of 30 light cav, scout cav coming out of the darkness. This monastery is going to fall. Reilled has imp res, and Wimpyfish doesn't quite, but he is very close himself. Does Reilled actually have the buildings? I notice he hasn't got a castle of his own, obviously.
He's lacking a second building.
So he did build a siege workshop historically.
Yes, of course.
Does that count?
It appears to do.
I guess it does. Wow, okay. Well, okay. So Reilled probably is going to want to drop a castle of his own to defend and build trebs from. But Wimpyfish has other ideas. He's built a castle of his own. But then again, actually, Wimpyfish hasn't clicked imp. And he hasn't quite got the res. He had a lot of res at one point, and they've all gone down the drain. So that is going to be good for Reilled. He'll be able to treb that back, both of those back quicker.
Yeah, and I like this move from Reilled, building that second layer of wall inside, because when he starts trebbing, the big thing that he can't afford to happen is for Wimpyfish to just be able to dive, snipe the trebs, and dive out again. So create these choke points, or wall it off entirely, so that either the pikes can get great value, or you just can't access them at all.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. And Wimpyfish now is switching his focus. I think he could have done this a bit earlier with the Siege Workshop as well. Try and use your mobility. Try and have a little poke at left-hand side on that stone wall now. Reilled's doing a good job of the wall behind, like you say, and those trebs are just going to sit pretty behind the wall. There's no way you're going to snipe them, so you've got to use your army elsewhere. And that's exactly what he's doing. 35 Teuton Scout Cavalry charging down the left-hand side of the map. And he's clicking in, trying to click into the base, and they keep going back, so he knows there's a wall somewhere. And 2 trebs in the queue for
Good
Reilled.
to know that Reilled has not left a gap anywhere, because that would be quite a devastating way to lose at this point.
That would be very tragic indeed, yeah.
And those scouts won't be able to achieve anything.
No, it's just too much HP on those stone walls. And the second layer will seal the deal, so... Trebs, first treb out.
Good awareness from Reilled to not let it escalate.
Yeah, definitely. That's absolutely right. You don't want to ignore that and then come back to it 5 minutes later, and they do actually get through. The one treb is firing, another one's about to pop out. Only now is Wimpyfish on the way up to imp. He hasn't got a siege workshop there. I think he probably needed to follow that up with a siege push. I think he's in a tough position now, Wimpyfish. Despite how amazingly dominant a position he was in at one point, it's starting to be a bit tricky because he's going to lose his castles.
So the difficult thing here is, for Aztecs in this lower eco imp kind of situation, it's just a little bit easier to make stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, especially because Wimpyfish has invested so much into cavalry, and there's now this big ball of pikes. It becomes really difficult to straightforwardly counter that, especially with the castles going down. So I think Reilled should be able to get some good momentum here to just take those trebs forward and keep pushing into the heart of Wimpy's base.
I think that's right. There's an absolute horde of cavalry. And I guess hand cannons? Is that the Teutons get hand cannons?
They do, yes. But
I guess
don't
that's his play.
think there's going to be enough time to get a meaningful mass of them.
No.
Because chemistry does take a long time to research. I don't think he's even got a university. So it's going to
No, he's building it now.
Something else.
I think he definitely wanted hand cannons, but he's just adding university now. So yeah, like you say, it's going to be too late. Triple siege. Not sure what siege we want. I guess we want siege rams. But yeah, to be honest, I think he just needs to get the Chevs forward as well. And it is a lot of numbers, and it is only pikemen, but it is only scout cavalry for Teutons. So it's not actually as scary as it kind of looks. And Wimpyfish is giving Reilled the ground. He's giving it up for free, not fighting that quite wisely, I think. And his, he's getting... Whoa, nice work from Wimpyfish! Isolating the trebs from the pikes.
That was a very clever little move. I mean,
it doesn't really matter because the trebs can kill the wall.
It shouldn't be a particularly impactful move, but it's a nice idea, and he's shown some nice awareness in both games so far with those little opportunities to quick wall.
The 300 IQ play is you do that quick wall, delete this tile, I'm pointing at the bottom left corner of the wall, run the scouts out, snipe the trebs. before the pikes can come and meet them. I think that he would have just had time, and that would have been huge. But here we go. In the queue is 15 hand cannons, so he has bought himself some time.
But we're seeing Onager from Reilled as well, so that's a really nice...
Ooh.
That's some nice anticipation basically thinking in this situation, what can I lose to? And hand cannon or a ranged unit is the potential answer. And so he's made a really good preemptive transition. I mean, he's probably got enough pikes that he won't care about hand cannon numbers anyway, but it's just smart play.
It's smart play, yeah.
He's now taking out the production as well, and from this position he should just be able to keep working his way through the base. He can be a bit methodical about it as well. You don't have to rush things, you can just keep working sort of layer by layer. That's some nice splits from Wimpyfish.
Really nice splits. He's going to get the siege here, I think. It's going to cost him his army, but I think he will get a lot of the siege. And he doesn't really care about this army too much anymore, because it is just scout cavs. And we're now in Imperial Age. But the trebs are kind of the main asset, and Reilled still has hold of those. Wow.
Yeah. And with the market going down as well, it just puts the squeeze on. You can't make those little adjustments that you often want to make in these low eco situations.
Yeah, and there's not much adjustment to be had really left, is there? Because Wimpyfish never got off that one town centre play. Reilled at least now has two that he had before. And wait, what on earth is this outpost that started being built? Did Wimpyfish somehow snuck a villain into his base at some point?
Yeah, I don't quite know how that happened, but it did.
Okay. Nice try from him there. The GG is called, and Reiled's the victor in this one.
Yeah,
So
and that
yeah,
it's another really nice game because you've had that push coming from Reilled, which Wimpyfish stayed patient against and then turned around and cleaned it up.
Mhm.
Wimpyfish has then pushed back and actually put the pressure on Reilled with the forward castles. But again, Reilled hasn't panicked. He's just
Yeah,
contained it and then pushed back out with the imp timing.
yeah, exactly. The both players stayed calm at the right times there. Um, and yeah, Wimpy Fish. I think he was a little bit undone by the kind of. I think exactly what you said must have happened. He clicked in the base and the vills on the initial tower rush. He clicked in the base with those 3 vills, and they started walking all the way back, go round the side, and it just meant that he only had 2 vills forward at the critical moment. Um, so his tower rush plan, which I'm sure caught Reilled by surprise, wasn't able to happen really. And losing the scout to the TC
Yeah,
is a sad one as well. But really nice monk snipes and um, yeah, Wimpy Fish not just a one trick pony with the booming. He's capable of some other strats as well, and I think he caught Reilled off guard in this one. But Reilled showed that he was resilient enough to hold on and take the victory. And that sets us up nicely for Reilled's home map, Game 3, which is on Golden Swamp. Have a
absolutely.
look at the civs for that one. Saracens or Hindus against Mongols or Byzantines. I quite like Saracens against Byzantines here as the matchup. I don't like it, but I think that's what we'll see.
I think that would be the sort of logical picks, but there is scope to make Mongols work. You can use the hunt to get a really quick uptime,
Mm-hmm.
and Hindustanis are not bad in these situations. Their eco is still smooth. They've got reasonable water tree, and then if you go for something like Gulam, it can be a really tricky unit to handle if it gets, if you get a bit of momentum with some raids going.
So what about when on this map there's a lot of water buffalo? What about Britons?
I love Britons on this map.
Oh, okay.
I think they're possibly the best civ on the map.
Oh, okay. Well, good question then. So what makes you like them so much?
So you've got, like you say, you've got the water buffalo, 8 of them. So you get so much food bonus from that. As Britons, means you can manage, nice quick up times to contest water. Britons have more or less a complete water tech tree. The only thing they're missing is elite cannon galleon.
Yeah.
So, early game, mid game, late game, they've got great options there. The cheap TCs make booming in the mid game really smooth, whilst still being able to afford water investment. And then in late game, you've got great options with obviously you've got the full water tree that you need.
Mm-hmm.
You've also got, if you get arbs or longbows going, it can make, it can make defending the middle so straightforward and smooth.
Oh, of course.
As well
and
as
tan
things
towers.
like Warwolf Treb. Yeah.
And the Trebs. Yeah.
So
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, I was thinking about it, but you explained it very clearly and succinctly there. Um, that's a good advertisement for Britons, I feel. Um, and I guess so. Byzantines. The thing with Byzantines is their ships fire. They're fire ships. Fire faster.
Yeah.
And that means that so they can. The thing with this map, I guess, is a little bit. It's not like islands or something, because the fish is quite sparse, and because it's the mangroves, like the shallows, you can walk on. The water control is primarily, in my eyes, a vehicle for central map control where all the gold is, rather than controlling the food, which is typical on like team islands or islands or whatever. Having water control is useful because it means you can fish and you can stop your opponent landing you. Whereas on this map, it's not quite like that. The water control means you can gather gold, but you can't ever stop your opponent running around the side and attacking your base if you've got tons of ships in the middle. You can take them off gold, but you still have some gold in your base, and you know it's not quite as. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not quite as big of a deal to have water control early, especially early water control on this map. But the only way to get water control in late game, where with all the gold you want on the gold in late game, the only way to really guarantee yourself that is to get it nice and early, because otherwise you'll be too late. So I think we're going to see both players duking it out, galleys against fire ships, quite early on. But there's always the potential for a sneak knight attack from Byzantines, or a sneak archer play, or camels and knights from Saracens as well. So I think it's an interesting map, and we'll see how it plays out between these two. But it could be quite a wild one, given how last game went.
Yeah, like you say, it's. I think that clash between, we've got the two civs with faster firing ships.
Yeah.
So seeing how they use those bonuses, because galleys are an option, but can be tricky to get going, as we see an attempted Vil snipe, and he is going to get it.
Yeah.
And if I denies the house being built as well at 97.6%. I mean, he's not going to get housed, he's got other houses available, but it's just an awkward bit of annoyance to deal with an early game, a Vil loss like that.
Yeah. It is, and it was just before Loom as well, so good stuff from Wimpyfish. And let's have a look at the builds now, so we can learn a lot about what they're going to do based on their eco distribution. And both of them have extraordinarily similar eco distribution. Oh, Reilled getting caught out there. Lose the scout.
That's really painful, actually, because it's taken away basically all the cost that Wimpyfish incurred for sniping the Vil.
Sniping the Vil, and the scout actually goes down as well, so Wimpy snipes the Vil and a scout there. And that's huge. And here we go. So 4 Vils on gold and a ton of Vils on wood. I'm no expert in water build orders, but that seems like a nice fire ship build order to me.
It will. Yeah, we're going to see at least double dock. He might add a third dock later. Second dock coming up a little bit later than is ideal for this kind of play, but yeah, he'll still be getting that first fire ship out nice and quickly. And being able to have free reign with the scout at this point is really nice as well. Reilled is in the dark.
Yes, he is in the dark. Now he's in the feudal. And he has full walled his base. So Wimpy can scout that And this is the thing, right? He, in low numbers, fires are excellent against galleys. And it's 2 docks against 1 with the earlier uptime for Wimpy.
Yeah, that single dock play is going to be hard to make work. I wonder if Reilled is going to basically just attempt to get a couple of galleys out and snipe fish, and then give up water, or not. He's getting the galley straight out and fighting, which is just a bit of a tricky thing to try and do, especially with he's blocking with the fishing chips, which is
it's a cute play, but it's just unrealistic. Yeah. It's just unrealistic to try here. I think. I mean, you're Saracens, right? Gold and wood that you were going to invest into to galleys can be absolutely invested into a market and res. And I think it probably is time just to call it on the water attempt. I like having a flag on the dock though, because if you don't have a flag on the dock, your opponent can just completely take you for a ride and stop production themselves, and also go up to the next stage. But you know, at least he's giving him something. Or there could be a demo in there. There could be something. Just got to be a bit careful.
Yeah.
But that is a small compensation, really, for the complete darkness he's in, and no fish economy.
Yeah. And Reilled does now have a mill, so he could be getting a market up. And I think from this position,
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just get the market up. Get yourself to the next stage and figure something out from there.
Yeah.
But this is really nice work from Wimpy. You know, making sure that you do actually have control of the water. He could probably stop production at this point. But you know, you'd rather slightly overinvest than underinvest completely.
Yeah, I think that's right. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but it might just be because of that flag in there that he doesn't want to. Oh well, the game's up now. Guess Reill's trying to snipe some fish or something, but anyway, he's on the way up to the cast stage, so. Ooh, and this is a very cheeky attempt. I think Wimpyfish will spot that if it does start to be constructed. Reill's going for a dock in this little inlet just to the side of his base, but good scout positioning. A double dock. Oh, Reilled. And does he actually... see, he can't see the scout there. So this is one-way information for Wimpyfish. And he will spot that.
And it's... I mean, it's good work from Wimpy to be... I mean, I would say active, but, you know, have the scout still alive and being a presence on the map. Realise it doesn't need to be active at this point. It can just sit and chill, and that's good information to have. Reilled's going to get housed as well, actually.
He is going to get housed. Wow, yeah. A house goes up, but another one goes straight back down.
So this is the difficulty with building your production and buildings too close to the shoreline on this map. If you don't win water control, you're actually just offering a freeway into the base, or damage to things like houses.
Yeah. I've been very impressed with Wimpyfish's sort of macro, I guess, in all 3 games, and especially this one on Neon. He's just really been ruthless. He took that early build kill, he's translated that into complete water control, and looking really good here. But this is what I was saying earlier. You don't actually have to have water control here. In late game, it's very important because the gold's in the middle. But I think for Reilled, what he should probably aim for now is Go around the side with those Saracen archers. You've got the building damage bonus. You can probably find your way, squeeze your way in some palisade walls and try and get some build kills that way, but the dock at the front is not going to happen for him, I don't think. Demo rafts being added, water galley coming in as well. There's so many fire ships, I just think water control is unrealistic to try and get back at this point. And that demo just tickled the fire ships as well. So yeah,
I think at this point you've just got to try and make something work on land, whether that's, like you suggest, going around the sides with some kind of play, or alternatively even just committing to a big boom and hoping to pull something out with a sort of, you know, imp timing or something like that. Yeah, it's really tricky to win back water control against Byzantine fires.
Yeah.
They are very, very good in these situations.
And especially because, well, oh wow, that's an interesting wall. It's probably quite a good wall if he gets it off. What I really like though is these outposts. That is such a smart and high level, like scholarly play. Wimpyfish.
Especially with Byzantines, you just get so much vision from them.
Let's have a look at those. Yeah, it's like you see the entire, like, it's enormous radius of that.
There is zero fear of being sneaked up on that side of the map. It'd be nice to see him just drop one or two on the other side as well, just to guarantee. But this wall is
the great wall of Byzantium. I mean, it does the same thing, right? So those outposts, the reason I'm harping on them so much is because they prevent the sideways land aggression, which could trip Wimpy up here. But they prevent it in a sort of visual aspect. These walls prevent it in a much more strong, stoic, robust aspect.
It's a bit more.
But he has both. Yeah, he has both, and he's still mining stone. He can get a castle up in the middle. And Reilled is going to be shocked, I think, if he saw that. I mean, remember, Reilled doesn't see anything. He just saw a little tile there with his fishing ship. And he's got an archer out in the middle now.
Yeah.
But he
Although
has seen some stuff.
He's seen a couple of tiles of wall here and there on either side of the water, but I don't think he'll have envisaged something quite on this scale. And he's still not actually scouted it with the archer. It keeps stopping short in each direction.
This is the wimpyfish.
By one tile.
Oh, the patrol.
See the villager.
Yeah, I think he was on patrol, and it will find that bill now. Coming forward across the map. And Reilled has no army of his own. He has one monk and that one archer. I mean, monk's obviously quite nice, because monks can convert ships, of course. So it could be a play. But I just don't think it's really going to work. And yeah, Wimpyfish says, okay, you got monks, see you later. I'm going to go and hide. And there's nothing you can do about it. He sails away.
Monasteries of his own in the centre.
Yeah. And it's just complete map control. Total Age of Empires for Wimpyfish. Castle coming up in the centre now, with a couple of vills, because there's no danger really. More coming forward now as well, but he knows. He can see everything. He knows that there's no threat. And that outpost on the woodline is actually a really nice play. I like that a lot because of, like you were saying, the high range on the outposts. You can just basically see entirely what's going on. Like, oh, you know, he's added some ranges. You'll spot that very quickly.
It also can just, if you're playing in this situation as Reilled, having things like the outpost on the woodline, it can always make you feel a bit claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Because you know that no matter what you do, you're going to be seen. And
yeah. That's absolutely right. And he's built a mangonel now to try and get it down, I suspect. Okay, and Sanctity coming in for the monks. But again, Wimpy Fish is a little bit like the Neon play. I kind of feel like he's toying with Reilled here, and I think that's probably fine. But he isn't. He's not booming hard behind this or going for super hard aggression in front of this wall. Like he's a little bit in between at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too critical of him, but I feel like he's done such a good job to get to this position that he's not, you know, scoring like just taking the game by the scruff of the neck and really winning it at the moment. It's still,
yeah.
He's obviously
playing in a way
hugely
which,
ahead. Don't get me wrong, but
he's playing in a way which just doesn't really cement his lead. It doesn't really damage it either. It just sort of sits there existing.
Yes, exactly right. And he might be put to the test now because Reilled is up to the imp at exactly the same time as him, despite all of the huge walls and huge army he has.
Yeah, and
you know,
we shouldn't underestimate as well the score lead. A lot of that will be inflated by the ships. Now, the ships are obviously important. You know they're not an irrelevant part of this game, but you know if Reilled at any point takes a good engagement, cleans up the ships, cleans up the castle, there's not really much behind it.
No. But I can't overstate how smart and sensible and domineering this wall is, because that kind of is the hope for Reilled, that he can build up some arbalests and run around the map and get something done. But there's just no way with the Byzantine stone walls between him and his opponent that he can do that. He's going to have to go down the throat here, go right down the middle. But, well, there's loads of ships, and that's where the water is. So I think Wimpy Fish is playing in a smart way. He's playing to the map control he's afforded himself. Reilled is building crossbows, and is going to upgrade them to Arbalest, I suspect. But I mean, how do you clear the ships up without your own galleons? You know, I mean, I guess he can. If maybe that's what Reiled's missing, he should be trying to really try and get some galleons up on somewhere. Because Fish hasn't got full map control anymore. He can't see everything. There is definitely areas of pond that he is missing. The top sort of corners.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to get back on water at this point, if you dropped a few docks basically underneath the castle,
it
would give you scope to get something going.
But do you think he needs to, Reilled? But how can Reilled? Because we were saying Wimpy Fish hasn't completely sort of taken the game. How can Reilled prove Wimpy Fish wrong? And
I think
take advantage.
I mean, he's got to go through the middle. Basically, he's got to treb push the middle. The problem is that if Wimpy Fish were to invest into basically fast fire ship at that point, it would make it very difficult. So it does probably need some element of water play. Probably heavy demos to try and swing it back, but that becomes very expensive, and obviously demos don't secure the water, they can just help win a fight or two.
Is there ever a treb round the side option?
Say again, say?
Is there ever an option where you treb round the side?
It's just going to be very slow if you do it that way, is the problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Wimpy wanted to just get some skirms or something going, it would help to defend. He would have to take a bit of time to invest into them, and he probably wouldn't have the wood eco for a while, but it would be hard for Reilled to find so big impactful damage.
I think that's right, yeah. Okay, well, bombard cannons and trebs. Reilled's doing the right steps, I think.
But we have seen from Wimpyfish, he's invested into Redemption, Sanctity, Block Printing. So he can just
my god! Nice conversion.
Bombard cannon.
Yeah.
It's cost him a treb, but yeah,
worth it.
Yeah, he can afford to keep doing that, whereas Reilled probably can't.
No, it's his turn to get on the
Oh,
He's actually going to convert the Arbalest as well. My goodness me.
Only one conversion from that so far, though, actually. It didn't quite go as it might have done.
Reilled's repairing the castle with quite some bills. 6 bills on that one, but this is going to go down.
This is going to be some challenging micro for Wimpy if he tries to get those arbs.
Yeah, definitely. And the ships now, though, have the chance to run in, and they will put paid to that Arbalest aggression. I'll just, get that last shot on the trebs. That's volley. Arbalest forced to run back. MP can use his army forward again. Locks in conversions on the bombard cannons and the mangonels and the monk and the Arbalest. Everything being converted right now. Mangonel converted, monk is converted. Bombard cannon escapes its conversion for the time being, although it could be converted and then attack the Arbalests. Goes to the bills. Fire ships doing quite some damage, conversions coming in everywhere. Arbalest numbers dwindling down rapidly, and the bombard cannon finds a nice shot. Trebs attacking the town centre, and that Trebs going down to the ships. And suddenly, Reilled's army and buildings have all evaporated from beneath his eyes, switching colours into the pink from the blue, and GG well played is called. And Wimpyfish, really nice performance from him. Just set the game up nice and slowly. Got it all the pieces of the jigsaw. He built the rim, started working into the middle, and then finished it off with that last puzzle piece. And it completely unlocked the whole thing, the whole picture, and it was suddenly he had the game exactly in his control.
Yeah, and a bit of a stylistic flourish to finish with the monks there as well. Monks can be a very tricky unit to make work, but getting those conversions at the end just to swing those fights, and probably I can imagine for Reilled that might be a bit of a frustrating way to lose the game, but really nicely done.
Yeah, that is a good point, right? I wonder how much Wimpyfish was styling on Reilled there. Hopefully not too much. I mean, it is just kind of in Wimpyfish's nature to do those unusual plays. It just so happens that monks are a demonstration of good micro. So, yeah, GG well played, says Reilled in the chat. Nice to see that you are in high spirits. And some good games. I mean,
some really nice games.
Really, I am very impressed with Wimpyfish. He's clearly looking strong. I think he is looking very strong indeed.
Yeah, I think especially that Neon game. You look at that and there's a bit of a marker laid down with that game.
Yeah, absolutely. So nobody winning there.
Some lovely bits of game sense and awareness from both players in